Today I'm going to be talking about the best and the worst fish for beginning reef keepers. My name's Adam and this is Sabina Reefing. Number 5 on the list for best fish for beginning reef keepers is blennies. Blennies are omnivorous small fish that like to perch and hang out all over your aquarium. They're full of personality. You have to be careful because sometimes personality means they're a jerk. Sometimes they're nice, but keep an eye out. You might end up with a bully. But they do a great job of keeping your aquarium clean. They stay very small, so you don't have to worry about having a 500-gallon aquarium to keep them. The next fish is possibly one of the most popular fish in the aquarium hobby, right next to clownfish, and that's chromos. Chromos are small, damsel-related fish. They pick little pieces of food out of the water column, helping keep your aquarium clean. They're very inexpensive and very hardy, making them a perfect fish for beginning reef keepers. The next fish on the list is a fish with a job, and that's the Halichoerus wrasse, specifically the yellow wrasse. It does a great job of picking up small pest organisms, invertebrates, and other worms that might be in your aquarium to help clean the aquarium and rid them of pests or unsightly nuisance animals. So next on the list is a fish that keeps your tank clean. It's the yellow tang. Okay, so now is probably an appropriate time to talk about the tank fleece. Tangs like to travel and swim large distance areas, picking at the reef and getting little pieces of algae off of all the rocks, which is why they're perfect for your cleanup crew inside your new aquarium. But one of the things that a lot of people worry about is the size of the aquarium. People don't worry about it too much in this 300-gallon aquarium, but they often worry about it when you're putting it in 40 and 50-gallon aquariums, which I think is perfectly fine for this fish. My aquarium compared to the ocean is tiny. The 40-gallon aquarium is also tiny compared to the ocean, and so when you take one of these fish and put it inside an aquarium, you need to give it as much space as you can. Well, these fish did not come from the ocean. The tang I'm recommending, the yellow tanks from Biola, are tank raised fish, so they've never seen the ocean, so it's a little more acceptable. They do come in at smaller sizes, so even if you are worried about it when they start getting bigger, you can take and usually trade them in or find another reefer on Reef Central or Reef to Reef. If you're not on there, look at the annotation below and you should definitely join one of the forums. And finding a new home for the fish is often an acceptable way if you feel the fish is outgrowing your aquarium. I personally like to keep my fish forever, so to me, when it outgrows its aquarium in a year or two, now you gotta get a bigger fish tank. So to me, the yellow tang is a perfect fish for a beginning reef tank keeper. It's hardy, it's tank raised, and it'll help keep your aquarium clean. And number 1 on the list easily is clownfish. They're easy to take care of, they're hardy, they're tank raised, they're affordable, beautiful, and they have some great personalities. They like to host with anemones. They even host with anemones they wouldn't in the wild. So you can see here, this clownfish is hosting with my long tentacle purple anemone. They don't actually normally meet in the wild. They also will breed inside your aquarium, so you can see my clownfish here. I've had these for about 5 years. This is an Oscularis, is tending to his nest of eggs. So I highly recommend clownfish. They add a lot of joy to the aquarium, and your family will love seeing them breed and host and basically all the little wild antelopes that come with clownfish. So number 1 on the list easily is clownfish. Now, just as important as what to put in your aquarium is what to not put in your aquarium. Number 1 on the list, I'm going to start backwards here and just go with sharks. Don't put a shark in your aquarium. Most beginner aquariums are smaller, less than my 300-gallon aquarium, and sharks tend to need a lot of swimming room if you're getting the types of sharks that are interesting to watch. If you're getting cat sharks, which I have done, they just sit under a rock. They never do anything. It's not very exciting, and often they're hard to feed. So now I've got a new Aquarius trying to feed live foods to an animal that doesn't do anything in the aquarium. Don't pick sharks. They're often just the wrong fit for beginning hobbyists. Get yourself a tang and a clownfish. Speaking of tangs, when you're picking out the tang, I know I've recommended yellow tangs, but don't get a hippo tang, the dories. They are great fish, and intermediate and advanced aquarists, I highly recommend them. But one of the problems with them is that they don't really do a lot for your aquarium. They don't pick at rocks, they don't pick at algae, they are just there in your aquarium. And they grow really big, really fast. So you're gonna need a large aquarium, which is just not a great fit, in my opinion, for new hobbyists. Another fish to avoid that a lot of new hobbyists try and get is mandarin gobies or any of the dragonet family. These are beautiful fish with great personalities. They scoot across the bottom of your aquarium, picking at little invertebrates and other small crustaceans inside your fish tank. Problem with them is they only eat live invertebrates and crustaceans inside your fish tank, and this usually builds up over time. I would highly recommend it to people that have been in the aquarium hobby for a year, 2 years, when you have an established aquarium, but starting off with new reef keepers that are still having troubles holding the parameters, let alone maintaining a healthy pod population or knowing what a healthy pod population is. I don't recommend mandarin dragonets or red scooter blennies or any of those dragonet family fish. They will probably just starve to death in your tank slowly over the course of months, and that's just a sad, painful thing to see. And the last two for fish not to get is big aggressive fish. Specifically, I'm going to talk about groupers and eels. Groupers will make all of your other little fish disappear, and you'll never know why, as your grouper slowly gets bigger and bigger and bigger until it no longer fits in your 300-gallon aquarium, let alone your 30-gallon aquarium, which is not an ideal thing for a new hobbyist. The other one is eels, which also get very, very large, but they're extremely good escape artists. They're almost completely blind, most of them, and they like to bite at things. So that's not a great way to get introduced to the hobby, is to have something that's trying to bite you every time you try and clean the aquarium. So I highly recommend leaving eels to advanced and intermediate aquarists that want to have a fish-only system. So if you disagree with me, please go down in the comments below. Happy to be battle it out there, or just hear your advice. Thank you for watching this episode. I got 2 more episodes over here that Google thinks you might like, and help me out. Click the subscribe button. Till next time, thank you.